This is Boats of the Thousand Islands, the show about every kind of watercraft on the Great St. Lawrence River. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break it down so you actually get it.
Show about every kind of watercraft on the Great St. Lawrence River. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie. And today we're talking about the flattest, wobbliest, most humbling thing on the water, the stand-up paddleboard.
Also known as the sup, which is also what you say right before you fall in.
Sup, river splash.
So these things feel brand new, but paddleboarding actually traces back thousands of years to Polynesian surf culture in Hawaii.
Ancient Hawaiians were standing on big wooden boards and paddling out to sea. So technically your neighbor with the inflatable sup is just carrying on a proud tradition.
A very wobbly, proud tradition.
The modern sup revival started in the early 2000s when surf instructors in Hawaii used big boards and paddles to get a better view of their students in the water.
Genius. Use a tall vantage point, sell more lessons, accidentally invent a global sport.
And it exploded by around 2020. Stand-up paddleboarding had become one of the fastest-growing outdoor activities in North America.
The St. Lawrence is actually pretty perfect for it. Long, flat stretches, sheltered bays between the islands, gorgeous scenery going by at about 4 kilometers an hour.
4 kilometers an hour being roughly the speed of a determined duck.
Which you will lose a race to. I'm just warning you now.
So what are we actually standing on? Because not all boards are equal?
You've got hard boards, which are rigid fiberglass or epite composite, faster, more stable for serious paddlers.
And then inflatable sups, which you pump up like a pool toy but are surprisingly tough once fully inflated.
Inflatables are huge on the river because you can roll them up, throw them in your trunk, and be at the put-in 20 minutes.
No trailer, no roof rack, no problems. Well, fewer problems.
The boards typically range from about 2.4 meters for a kid's board up to nearly 5 meters for touring and racing boards.
5 meters is longer than most people's living rooms. You're basically standing on a floating hallway.
A very narrow floating hallway that tips if you sneeze.
Balance is genuinely the whole game. You keep your feet hip-width apart, knees slightly bent, eyes on the horizon, not on your feet.
Looking at your feet is the #1 beginner mistake. The moment you look down, you think about falling, and then congratulations, you fall.
The paddle itself is angled forward, which surprises people. You reach out ahead, plant the blade, pull yourself past it.
It's not like canoe paddling. You're not pushing water back. You're pulling the board forward over the blade.
And you switch sides every few strokes to keep going straight. Otherwise, you just spin in very elegant circles.
Speaking of the river, the current and wind on the St. Lawrence can catch beginners off guard pretty fast.
Always paddle into the wind first, so the easy ride home is with the wind at your back. Otherwise, you're that person getting blown toward Kingston.
Safety rules here are real. In Canada, if you're on a soup outside a swimming area, it's classified as a vessel under the small vessel regulations.
Which means you legally need a personal flotation device on board, a whistle and a light if you're out after dark.
A lot of paddlers wear a leash too. It attaches your ankle to the board, so if you fall off, your board doesn't drift away faster than you can swim.
Losing your board on the St. Lawrence is not a fun afternoon.
So who's actually out there on sups around the Thousand Islands?
Everyone, honestly. It's one of those rare sports with almost no age ceiling. You see retired couples doing sunrise paddles and competitive racers doing sprint intervals.
There's even sup yoga, where people do yoga poses on the board on open water.
Which is either incredibly peaceful or completely ridiculous depending on how good your balance is.
Probably both at once.
There are also subfishing setups with rod holders and tackle boxes mounted right on the board. Silent, low profile, gets you into spots a motorboat never could.
The fish have no idea you're coming until you wobble and splash, and they absolutely do.
Racing is a real scene too. The technical racing boards are super narrow, maybe 65 centimeters wide, and riders train hard to not wipe out constantly.
Elite paddlers can hit speeds of around 12 to 15 kilometers per hour in a sprint, which on a floating hallway is genuinely impressive.
Meanwhile, I am doing 3.5 and feeling great about it.
No judgment. 3.5 on the St. Lawrence with the islands around you is honestly the whole point.
It really is. The thing SUP gets right is that it puts you at water level almost in the river, part of it, rather than above it.
You notice herons differently when you're eye to eye with them on a quiet morning bay.
And then the heron judges you for your paddling technique and flies away.
Harsh but fair.
If you've never tried it, most outfitters around the Thousand Islands rent boards by the hour, and lessons usually get a beginner upright and moving in under 30 minutes.
30 minutes to standing, that's a pretty good return on a summer afternoon.
Pack sunscreen, drink water, bring the whistle, keep the leash on, and enjoy what might be the simplest way to explore the river.
And when you fall in, and you will fall in, just remember ancient Hawaiians invented this and they fell in too.
They just had warmer water. See you next week on Boats of the Thousand Islands.